I have a lesbian friend who's really flirty with me. To give a couple of examples, she can get really physically close, like holding my arm or even holding hands, and she often compliments me in ways I feel a friend normally wouldn't, like telling me that I have a beautiful name, saying that she really misses me quite often, trying to get me to say that I miss her, and getting me to tell her that she's pretty. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, and this is normal. Or maybe even that, because she's lesbian, she doesn't really feel anything when acting this way around me. But, of course, because I'm a straight guy, this does bother me a little bit, but I'd care if it'd be offensive or confrontational to bring it up. What should I do? As a lesbian, not that I trump other povs, just letting you know my pov, I think it doesn't matter whether she is flirting or what her intent is. It makes you uncomfortable. That's what matters. And she should stop, especially with the physical stuff. But you have to talk to her. I have female friends who are really physically affectionate, and it's just not my thing. And they are cool with that. Thank you for saying this clearly. All of the responses theorizing reasons or motivations, or offering explanations, excuses, for ops discomfort are irrelevant. The point is, he's uncomfortable. He absolutely should communicate that, and no reason needs to be given beyond "it makes me uncomfortable." Kudos to you for making the point. Tell her you think she's a lovely woman, but she needs to understand that the physical things she does make you uncomfortable, because you don't want to be catching feelings for your gay friend. I'm going to need to think about how I'm going to word this properly, as I don't want it to seem like I'm angry or annoyed, because I'm not, and I don't want her to take it that way. How should I go about this without making it seem confrontational? You're totally okay in being uncomfortable with being touched, and you should tell her if it does make you feel like that. What I do want to say though is I don't think her complimenting you or saying she misses you is flirty, at least to me. I talk to my friends like that, and I have spoken to my guy friends like that before without having any intention other than being nice or letting them know I missed them. Look, as a lesbian, I do things she does to you with my male friends, but only in a platonic way, not because I have some romantic feelings. I can be touchy, but that's how I'm with people. However, if I knew that my actions were making my friends uncomfortable, I'd stop immediately to not ruin the friendship. Please communicate with her, and don't listen to people trying to convince you she actually has romantic feelings. It took me so many years to find male friends who I was completely comfortable with. Don't just assume she's into you just because she's doing those things. I'm a guy and have a lesbian friend who does this. She's so clearly 100% lesbian. Think Gentleman Jack. If you've seen the series on HBO, that I read absolutely nothing into it. That's how she expresses platonic affection and friendship. I kind of like it, since it's so genuine. I've had gay friends act that way towards me, and I don't get the impression they necessarily like me romantically. I've also had lesbian friends and straight friends who I'm very close with behave the same way. Some people are just very affectionate. But if you're uncomfortable with it, you should tell them, but be sure they know you do like them a lot as friends, and don't want to hurt the friendship. I do those exact same things to my friends, lol. Just let her know you're not comfortable every time she does it. If she doesn't respect your boundaries, she's not worth keeping as a friend. To me, these are romantic behaviors and you may catch feelings if it continues. Just simply tell her that for you, friendship doesn't involve the touching and I miss you kind of element, and it makes you uncomfortable because for you, they belong to the romantic realm. A lot of what I've described manifests more as feelings, rather than as concrete thoughts put into words, so I had a hard time understanding how I could dissect my emotions, but I think you put it beautifully. It has to do with how I compartmentalize certain behaviors. If I haven't known someone for a long time, and, of course, long time has a different frame of reference for every individual, and they act the way she does, I can't help but see them as romantic actions. However, if one of my close girlfriends I've known for years did the same thing, it'd be easy for me to see them as friendly actions, if that makes sense. Thank you. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, and this is normal. Many guys are not socialized to see this as normal, but to see it as a woman being interested in them, especially heterosexual guys. I would take this as her being very comfortable and trusting with you to express herself in this way. If it bothers you, ask her to kindly tone it down, but it might change the dynamics of your relationship. Pretty sure heterosexual women would also see this behavior to be flirtatious if it was coming from a man. Some people are just more touchy-feely. I get it, BC, I'm like that. Just tell her what you don't like. She should respect it. How about saying, I love you, you're my friend, but sometimes your physical contact makes me uncomfortable. Easy peasy. No beating around the bush. It makes your point. How she takes it us on her. I had a male friend who is gay, although at the time he was closeted. I knew he was gay. He was super touchy-feely with me, even though he knew I was a straight woman with a boyfriend. I told him that it sometimes gave me conflicted vibes. He was fine with my reaction. And if he wasn't, well, that wasn't my problem. I get not wanting to hurt her feelings, but I think people are dancing around the issue a little. Being direct is not the same as being unkind. Hey lesbian friend, I like our friendship, but I want more boundaries around the physical part of our relationship. No further reasoning is needed. I don't see why this would hurt someone's feelings. As a gay, most of my Q*** friends are more touchy-feely. I cuddle and say I love you to all my best friends and hold their hands when we walk. I think she's probably just being normal around you, but that's irregardless. Just BC, it's normal for her doesn't mean you can't have boundaries around it. Sounds like she's treating you like one of the girls. If you don't want to make a big deal about it, maybe something like I like a lot of personal space, or I'm not much of a hugger, or let's keep some distance for covered considerations. In other words, make it about your preferences instead of her behavior. She likely just feels safe with you, and this might be how she behaves with anyone she considers a close friend. If it makes you uncomfortable, you should be able to share that with her, and she should be respectful of your boundaries or you don't want to be friends. Lesbian here, just tell her that as a straight dude, her behavior is sending you signals that you think she's not intending, and for the sake of your friendship, to please not be so intimate. If it makes you uncomfortable, it makes you uncomfortable. To be fair, this sounds a lot like how my gay guy friends interact with me as a straight girl. It's all very joking, but if it makes you feel weird, and she's your friend, she'll apologize and stop. It sounds like she is touchy-feely. She probably thinks that, because she is a lesbian, you will respect her boundaries rather than thinking that she is secretly straight. I'm also a lesbian, and I'm very affectionate with my close guy friends, since I feel safer doing that than I do with women. I'm worried it comes off predatory to be affectionate with female friends, whereas I'm hoping the guys won't take it as anything more than platonic affection. I absolutely wouldn't want to make them uncomfortable though, even if the intent isn't romantic. If you'd rather not be so affectionate, then definitely say something. She might be a little embarrassed, but I'm guessing she'd rather you be happy in the friendship than let you suffer in silence. You should bring it up. Clear the air, so that it's not making you uncomfortable anymore. You deserve to have clarification on her intentions. Close bracket. I'm not a touchy person, so I would have asked her to go down in this tone with me. It can make one pretty uncomfortable. Do not go in with the mind set of confronting her. Be curious. Just talk to her and let her know it makes you uncomfortable, and ask her what the motivation is behind her behaviors. It's okay to want some boundaries, and don't let these commenters tell you otherwise. If the genders were reversed, they'd be saying the dude needs to keep his hands to himself. It sounds like she is innocent and just touchy, and you are just not touchy with new and or opposite gender friends. Simply tell her that you value her friendship very much and want to safeguard it by not catching feelings. So can she help you by easing up a bit on touching, pushing you to consider how pretty she is, etc. Thankfully for once the group consensus is telling him it's okay to set boundaries. I'm a lesbian and I'm very loving with all my friends regardless of gender, physically, verbally, and emotionally. I love to lean on shoulders and play with hair, and I will hand out compliments as much as possible. However, if one of my friends told me they weren't comfortable with this level of affection, I would immediately reel it in. Just tell her that you are uncomfortable and establish boundaries. It is most likely that she will understand and not feel offended at all. If she is, then maybe she isn't a very good friend. Good luck. Close bracket. You're definitely reading too much into it. Lesbian or not, makes no difference. She's just a touchy-feely kind of girl. I've known many girls like this. It's just she feels comfortable with you, nothing more. You're definitely reading too much into it. As in, that she's being flirty? I think it's okay to be flirty towards friends. I mean, my straight guy friends and I are flirty towards each other in playful ways just cause we want to mess around. But, for me, it's very different when a woman does it to me because, as a straight dude, I'm attracted to women. Touchy-feely is fine if there's some boundaries involved, but the main issue I have is that I've barely known this girl for a couple of months. Feel you're reading too much into it. Unless she has made it obvious she wants to have sex with you, friends do that. I have a friend who is lesbian, and we actually have no issue being naked in front of one another to change, or whatever. I know she likes women only. Yeah, she sat on my lap, has held my hand and even gives me massages. I don't feel awkward about it, because even though she does this, I know she likes women, not men. So I do feel, if it's more a boundary issue, that you have a personal issue with regardless of gender, then by all means just politely tell her that's not your thing. But if it's because you think she's coming on to you, wheel again, unless she is grabbing your D*****, or making moves to signal 6, feel you're looking too much into it. I think she just knows nothing can come of it, so she feels completely at ease with you. I think you should tell her that certain things she does make you uncomfortable. Open communication is important. It's uncomfortable, and her behaving that way is definitely not on you. That being said, being stern and setting boundaries can help. If she's a real friend, she'll respect the boundaries you set. It doesn't really matter except for the she's making me uncomfortable part. Next time she's flirting with you, say, hey, you're giving me confusing vibes. Can you clarify if you're trying to hook up with me? Because this level of touch is too much for me. If we are just friends, she will probably vehemently deny, but will also hopefully get the message.